We have to call this meeting and all that stuff.
Kathy and Brad, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. We have everybody present and we're going to begin now.
It's a special meeting. All right. It's 12 o'clock on the 3rd, 4th of February, and we're calling this special board meeting to talk about the 2023 audit. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Take one. I think it's Kathy.
Brad and Kathy, you guys can begin whenever you'd like.
Kathy, do you want to do this?
I'm gonna let you take care of presenting, Brad.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us today, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve the district as auditors for the year ended June 30, 2023. We have issued our report on the financial statements, and briefly, our opinion says that, in our opinion, these financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position, results of operations of the district for the year ended June 30, 2023 on the modified cash basis of accounting. That's different than GAAP. It's a more simplified presentation that doesn't, we don't have to have on the financial statements your capital assets. We don't have long-term debt on there. You don't have to deal with things like the PERS net pension liability or other post-employment benefit liabilities, but it does provide a useful presentation for how you operate the district. So the district ended the year with total cash of $2.8 million. You had some liabilities that were allowed under the modified cash basis of accounting of $184,000. So overall, your net position on the modified cash basis accounting is basically $2.6 million. And that is a decrease from the prior year of $746,000. When it comes to the individual funds, obviously the general fund is the fund that you're most concerned about. That's one that has most of your activity in it. It ended the year with a fund balance of $2.5 million, which is a decrease of about $250,000 from the prior year. So you've used up some of your resources, but nothing that's, I'd consider to be that significant given the size of the district and your operations. Of course, you do have the one fiduciary trust for pensions that had $328,000 in it at June 30, 23. That is providing pension benefits for your volunteers. Following the footnotes is a long section of notes. I'm not really going to go over anything there. It just gives a little bit more detail and explanation on the amounts shown in the financial statements. And then towards the very end of the document, we our report that's required by the Oregon State regulations. And on this, we look at two things. We look at some compliance with specific Oregon laws and regulations. And then we briefly talk about internal controls. So in terms of the Oregon laws and regulations, one of the things we noted is that there were expenditures in excess of appropriations in various funds. General fund had over expenditures in admin, operations, and capital outlay. And the retired senior volunteers program had a very small over expenditure in personnel services. In addition to the Oregon budget law requirements, a couple of things we looked at was the depository of public funds. So the Oregon State Treasurer has a program that will basically provide collateralization of your deposits with financial institutions. Part of that program requires the district to notify the state treasurer annually of the financial depositories used by the district. The Secretary of State actually sends out an email, and it basically has to be responded to with any changes. We know that the district never notified the state treasurer of what financial institutions it uses. Additionally, one of the items we look at is public contracting and purchasing. And of course, there's different tiers of what you have to do. One of which is if you have a procurement over $10,000 but less than $150,000, you are required to obtain 3 separate quotes for pricing. And we know that there was a purchase that did not have the 3 quotes. And then additionally, those over 150,000 are required to have competitive sealed bids. And we noted one that also was where you did not get those competitive bids for a procurement over $150,000. So a couple items there. In addition, then we did talk very briefly about internal controls. Of course, as part of every audit, we come in and we obtain an understanding of your internal controls, and that helps us plan our audit to identify those areas with higher risk based upon what controls are in place or where they are weaker. And if there's anything that we want to bring to your attention, we bring that forth in a separate letter, and we do have a separate letter talking about some internal controls. Kathy, do you want to cover that real quickly?
Yep, I sure can. So in our procedures that we performed over journal entries, we noted that there was not a documented review over journal entries. If we can't see it, it didn't happen, unfortunately. So we need to be able to see proof that journal entry review is occurring. And there were just some items that were material that didn't have review for those journal entries. We didn't find anything that made us raise our eyebrows, but this is an internal control. So you want to make sure that somebody doesn't have the ability to move things around in accounts, which can be used, to cover things up or to misclassify things intentionally. And so that's the reason why we gave it the level of material weakness, because there were material entries that didn't have a review associated with those. And I know the district's gone through a lot of changes over the last several years. This year was definitely doing the 23 audit was definitely a little easier than doing the 22s, because most of the documentation that we needed was available for us to examine. Whereas last year when we did, there was some information that wasn't available for us to be able to provide an opinion on all of the accounts. So we're happy to say that this last time that information was there. You did continue to have some changes. Jimmy's left during the year, and there was still some information that, we really had to work to try to get. There were some challenges with changes that happened to your budget and account structures, and then some funds that were closed that it wasn't communicated to us that those funds were then subsequently reopened in a supplemental budget. And so there were a lot of back and forth things that caused some delays in getting this information to you, and trying to work with Krista. She's had some challenges as well. And converting the information they're producing for you on a GAAP basis to a modified cash basis also creates some challenges in being able to, take that information back. So but Kate is wonderful. She provides everything that we need. And other people at the district that we talked to were very open, and we had no issues with anybody there on staff. So, and I thank the board for those that responded to our inquiries that were the ones that got selected this year. And we're just getting ready now to jump in to try to to get the next year's going for you so we can get you guys caught up. So okay. I'm happy to take any questions.
Kathy, the only thing I had was we kicked back some changes that we found in the document. One of them is on the last page. It still refers to Clackamas Fire versus Columbia Fire and Rescue. They're minor stuff, but we did kick some stuff back, and my understanding is it's already been submitted to the state.
Are you kidding? How is that still in there? I swear that got fixed. So sorry about that. Yeah, no, I'm looking right at it.
Other than that, no, I do appreciate, obviously this was the prior administration and the prior board. And so we do recognize those, and we're hoping that with when you come in next week, that you'll see some, again, continued improvements with our accounting reconciliation, and any discrepancies that we found in the past have been corrected. So we're looking forward to the next audit for you guys to complete.
Yeah, we are too. So.
Anyone in virtual land would like a comment or question for Singer Lewak?
Oh, looks good.
I don't have any questions right now.
Do you have anything else you guys would like to discuss, provide, or give us any insight? We do appreciate the efforts you and your staff have put together, presenting this to the board and completing it. And again, we're looking forward to getting actual current. So finishing our this one starting next week. So I do appreciate you guys' efforts and making sure that we're on the right track.
Great. I'm looking forward to coming in next week. Krista's provided a number of documents for us, and we're hoping that the remainder of the items that we need will be available this week. And we'll be able to get there and do things efficiently and effectively and get out of your hair, because we know that we're a distraction and a disruption to your operations. So ahead of time, I appreciate everybody's efforts on it.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.